All right, in the second segment today, we're going to bring on a new business that's come to town, and we're proud to say a new advertiser of Just Speak Up, and that's Elite Environmental Restoration Services. Elite, the environmental group. A couple of significant things here. Not only is Zach Long a great guy, and the company does good things, it's also a new business to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, and we applaud and welcome and like to feature new businesses as well as new advertisers of the show.
Well, you know what? It's one of those businesses that you say, oh, I don't know why. I don't need to write that number down because I'm never going to use it. And then you think about it. You know, it comes in and does restoration, cleaning up if your house is flooded. I was in the kitchen in March.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying any attention. I didn't hear the water running. And the wash machine, the little knobby thing doesn't work. And the whole bottom floor flooded.
And it didn't. What Colleen's trying to say about the whole knobby thing is there's a sensor in there that shuts off before the washing machine starts, and that little tiny sensor was out, like a $17 part or something like that.
Yeah, and I was just sitting there letting the water go all over the and every towel in our house we used to soak up. And luckily we had all the teenagers at our house because we put them all to work.
Well, we're going to bring Zach on the second segment, but he was talking about how many houses actually have those. And then that wasn't the first time, of course, because the obligatory shower pan.
Yes, that
when we built our house from scratch, from the ground floor up at Jack's Beach, the guys put the shower in there, and I always thought the guys had a hangover when they installed that shower because the floor never quite drained correctly.
They did it like 3 times.
But they put in a shower pan, and they put in the little nails underneath it, and the pan goes over it, and the top of the nail, as time goes on, wears through and creates flooding, creates a broken shower pan. So I call up my insurance agent. I say, the shower pan, and he goes, on page 56 of page 112, we exempt ourselves from shower pans because of exactly what you're describing, Chuck.
Yeah.
So,
So you paid insurance all those months, and aren't you glad?
Yeah, aren't you glad? And then, new carpet. And then, the whole work's going on. So you'll be surprised at what goes on. So
and it's amazing how many times, this is what I'm saying. So this isn't a number that you do say, oh, I don't really need that. You should take notice of Elite Restoration because you do need them. You might not need them once a month like your gardener or a lawn keeper or something, but you sure as heck do need them. Yeah,
that you need to have that resource available. And that's what we want to be here at Just Speak Up. We want to provide information and resources for all of you people out there. And the one other thing I appreciate about Zach calling us, and I compare this to a lot of the guys that work for me up at NAI Commercial Jacksonville, you got to hustle. You got to work. You got to be out there. You got to beat down the doors. You got to make calls. You got to go out and find people. You got to find clients. And Zach's one of those enthusiastic guys about the company and the business.
You mean you don't just sit there and people call you and ask you to go to work for them? I am like my biggest self-promoter as an attorney. I am always touting my card, telling people about me. Don't I? I mean, and Just Speak Up. I'm the biggest self-promoter of Just Speak Up.
We talk about the concept of shameless self-promotion.
Absolutely.
Now, that comes from a long-time great friend of mine who owns a big commercial real estate company in Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton News, and there's a third town I'm drawing a blank, Virginia Beach, the triangle up there. And he used to talk about shameless self-promotion. So I stole the line because there's nothing original in life anyways. But shameless self-promotion, and Colin, you and I have passed out so many 5x7 cards on Just Speak Up. Then we have to redo those now because we got to get them updated with our new sponsors' logos on them.
Put a lead on there.
And we've been taking a little break for 4 to 6 weeks as the campaigns are going on, but we're going to get revved up again.
But most of you listeners know that because if we haven't talked to you at local political things going on, you're always surprised if we're not there because we go out and all we do is talk Just Speak Up.
Yep, and we promote it. All right. It's good stuff. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, it is fun stuff. Nothing wrong with that. A little hard work doesn't hurt anybody because you and I try to talk about how we work half days.
Yeah, that's right. 12 hours a day, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's great when you meet people with passion and enthusiasm for their work. And we're going to introduce the listeners to Zach Long after the commercial breaks because I think you're going to find some passion, sincerity, and caring about what goes on as he restores your place back to its living conditions.
Well, that's original, isn't it?
Talk Radio 600 WBOB 854-1320. All right, Zach Long's going to join Colleen and I right after these messages. It's Wednesday, halfway through this week. Come on back for more of Just Speak Up.
Now, let's get back to Just Speak Up with Colleen and Chuck White on Talk Radio 600 WBOB. To be a part of today's show, call 904-854-1320. That's 854-1320. And now, once again, here's Colleen and Chuck.
All right, June 1st, Colleen, start of hurricane season.
I know, and you know what I always say? Take pictures of your house, do everything to make sure, go make sure that your important stuff is in your safety deposit box.
Well, and as we're talking to Zach off air here, he's got a resource to be able to help do that, and we're going to get to that. But Zach Long's been in the environmental service industry for 8 years. He's the market manager for the Northeast Florida region of Elite Restoration. Elite Atlanta and Middle Georgia branches, which is basically Macon and Atlanta. And boy, do I know Middle Georgia from driving up to Gainesville all these years with the sun.
You do.
Zachary's got numerous certifications regarding water damage, fire cleanup, mold, environmental assessment, etc. He's got 3 young children. They moved here to Jacksonville to open up Elite, and they live in Clay County. And it's great to have you here, Zach.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
It is. We love new businesses coming. We love entrepreneurial guys that get out and do it. Tell us exactly. Now, if you had to answer in one sentence, what do you actually specialize in? Not one sentence, but one answer.
Disaster response services. Anything from a flooded home due to a wash machine that you just described to, unfortunately, the tree that falls on your home. And, penetrates your roof and you get rain inside your home. Fire cleanup, that type of thing.
Okay, let's talk.
And mold, too.
Absolutely, mold. We are licensed by the state of Florida to perform mold cleaning services.
Oh, that's huge.
Oh, that's really
huge.
huge.
Because you'd be surprised.
I think we have mold underneath our stairs.
There's mold all over the place. We did. I think we got that cleaned out, and that was the leaky air conditioner. But you see, that's another service that Zach provides.
Absolutely.
Okay, now we enter into hurricane season, all right? And the hurricane, God forbid, doesn't hit Jacksonville. But Zach also is aligned with a company in St. Augustine that will go in there and do the inventory that you're always talking about for a very reasonable price.
So will Bob from the beaches.
No, that's
just
not true.
I'm teasing
and
Bob.
It was Chuck.
It was Chuck from the beaches. And just go take pictures of everything. This is what the company will do. Take pictures of your whole house. And that's a really time-consuming thing. You have to go in all the drawers, the cabinets. Because your insurance company, when you say, I had 6 TVs, they really want to see that.
And it's not necessarily just taking photos. It's also taking, the model number, serial numbers, and other information and getting appraised. Because depending on your insurance company, your insurance may give you what today's value is, or some policies will give you what you paid, 3 or 4 years ago. Mainly for businesses. This is something businesses always forget to do, to document, inventory their assets. So when, a total loss occurs, they might just assume they had, 20 laptop screens or whatever, when in reality they had 35. So unfortunately, if they don't have anything to prove it, then they're at a loss.
It's a good point. Now, first time of many, how do they get in touch with you? Let's get a phone number first.
Okay, locally we can be reached at 904-446-6212. It's manned 24/7. Whenever you call, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, you get a live person.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely.
I hate when you get a live person. Will you push 2 for Spanish?
And the website is
English.
Well, we're in the United States.
The EERSINC, Environmental Restoration Service, Elite Environmental Restoration Services Inc.com. EERSINC.com.
And if you call, any of the callers that call today, leave AJ your name and your address, and we'll send you out these great magnets. Because I was telling the guys at the break that if you were you had a table set up and I walked through the lobby of the station and you said, Colleen, I'd like to introduce you to Elite Restoration, I'd say, oh, that's a really nice business, but I don't really need it, so thank you anyway. And then 6 months from now, when something happens, I'm like, oh, I should have taken that guy's card. But we have magnets that you can put on your refrigerator or your oven or somewhere in your kitchen or even on your computer or something, and then when you do need them, they'll be there.
Absolutely. I've been in the industry for 8 years, as you talked about earlier, and up until this past Monday, I've never experienced a water damage to my personal property. And unfortunately, a neighbor above me flooded his bathroom, and of course, me being ground level, I took the 6 areas of my home are completely flooded and wet currently. So
wow.
Now you told me some statistics about how many really do get flooded on a monthly basis here.
Absolutely. In the population of Jacksonville, according to some numbers previous years, roughly 1,600 homes per month are damaged by water. That's water alone. That's not counting fires and other things. But water can be anything from a toilet overflow to sewage lift station backing up and unfortunately gets inside your residence. But of course in Atlanta that number gets close to 3,000. So it depends on population, and some of these are insurance covered, some aren't.
But now as a new business, Zach, that would have been a number that would have been very important for you guys, you and your bosses and all your people that you hang out with within the company, and Joe Hoyle and all those good guys at Elite, that would have been studying before coming down to open up in a new market like Jacksonville.
Absolutely. We began in Macon, Georgia, and we're not small-minded people. We think large. We think on a large scale. We want to be in many places, but this region, Northeast Florida, the beaches is very attractive. Not only to the beauty of the region, but also to the numbers around.
Good. That's excellent because again, we applaud new businesses coming into Jacksonville. We want to salute them.
Well, and you also know that I just want the listeners to know that Zach is a Christian, and so to take that leap of faith to go out there and start a business, especially with 3 young kids,
in today's environment,
that is a leap of faith.
You betcha. And we need to support these guys that have this leap of faith and that will come into Jacksonville and open up and provide such a good service and a needed services. Boy, that was a tough
word for you.
Tongue twister for no reason. That shouldn't have been a tongue twister. Now, Zach, you go into a house and you dry it up, you get rid of all the mold, and what happens to the house after that? If there's damage to it, do you actually do household repairs or anything like that?
We do not. Our specialty is the initial emergency, cleanup services. We will not, leave the homeowner just sitting there wondering what to do. We will actually, help them out trying to find a great, contractor, local contractor. And from listening to the show and being out in the community, I know you guys know of a great one.
Yeah, and that would be Pete Broad, of course.
Absolutely.
And, Zach being new to the advertising family, I want to tell this to the listeners. We bring our advertisers together. We try on a monthly basis, Colleen and I do, because we appreciate and value their support so much. And we also want them to network with each other. We want them to talk because we're all in this together during this recession or repression or depression, whatever you want to call it. And so we bring them together. So we've got to get Zach together with Pete.
Yes, that would be awesome because the two of you could be great referral sources. And you're right. With all our advertisers, Chuck, we have advertisers on the show that we believe in. We don't have somebody that we don't know or that we don't believe in. We use all of our advertisers, and obviously I'm not going to use you in the next couple of weeks, knock on wood. But if I do, I'm taking this magnet home that you listeners can call in and get. I'd be happy to send anybody a magnet because it could sit on your refrigerator for years.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll gear that up. Now, as a secondary note to your business, too, also, as I'm reading your sheet here, and I knew this already, of course, Zach, is that you have a janitorial service, too, and you look for commercial properties, which is always in demand here,
Yes, we focus on creating a clean and healthy work environment. Obviously go in and remove the waste bins and mop and vacuum, those great services, but it's the manner in which we do it. We use microfiber. We're not, polluting your office with these harsh chemicals. Just better quality service in our opinion.
So how big or small do you do commercial buildings? Do you have a size limitation?
Anything 10,000 square feet or larger. Of course, we're in the habit of going in nightly, anywhere from 5 to 6 nights a week to perform these services.
Wow.
Now, let's go back again. I just wanted to throw that in. Let's go back again because, Zach, you offer so many services to the people that you really need to go to EERSINC.com to see the pamphlet that I'm holding because you get into services you offer and they're huge. The tile floor maintenance, the grout cleaning, which can be so hard to do. The fire damage, the water damage, the mold, the thermal imaging services, the structural drying, the odor removal, the debris removal. It's a jack of all trades, but a master of all in this case.
Absolutely. Right. It's, to one, it might seem like, they're reaching, but all of this, does fall under one specific category, which is a specialty cleaning company. That's why we do not do the repaint or, put a new roof on your home, because you don't want your mechanic working on your dental, your teeth.
No.
So we know the cleaning side.
Well, here's something too, Colleen and I pulled today because we're very fitting that we have Zach in here on Hurricane Day.
Hurricane Day?
The day hurricane starts. And there's a consumer talk article out today about make sure that you have licensed contractors doing your work like Zach. Because unlicensed guys come out of the woodwork for preventative maintenance and in the event of a storm right now to go after your hard-earned cash.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, and especially in the mold industry. Florida recently passed laws requiring you to have a license to perform any type of mold work on your property, commercial, residential, what have you. But of course, anyone can go in and extract water, but you highly recommend that they be certified, they know what they're doing.
Wow, that's really important to know what they're doing. I know a family that has mold in their house, and the children were very sick because of that.
Now, and again, remind everybody, you are 24 hours.
We are 24 hours, 365.
Would you actually, I know you have somebody answering the line, would you actually be out there if an emergency arose at all hours of the day?
Absolutely. We get a lot of commercial calls early in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Right.
Residential, of course, people coming home, so between the hours of 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening. And,
Wow.
the insurance companies, we have great relationships with insurance companies as far as serving the people. But, they know and we understand you get there fast, take care of it to prevent additional damage.
Insurance related, everything you need. Second half of the show, we're going to change the subjects. We're going to give away some of those magnets today. We're going to have the magnets on. We might just be giving those out away for days because this is a valuable service. Zach, thanks for being here
Thank you very
today.
much for the opportunity.
Great stuff. Talk Radio 600 WBOB 854-1320. It doesn't always have to be so gloomy and doomy when a crisis hits. You got guys like Zach and his company out there to help you through the pain, so to speak.